Welcome to today's video. And so today I wanted to talk about resisting our light. How on the path, when we are increasing our vibration, when we are connecting more to source, to spirit, when we are enhancing our life force in our body, when we are simply just getting into more of our power, we are going to resist this. And it's not the we that we truly are, it's the egoic we, the false we, the tribal we, the conditioned we. We are going to resist that. Why do we resist this? Because we're afraid of harnessing this power. This power is unfamiliar. We're not used to it. We don't know what to do with it. So we resist it because a part of us actually has to die for us to step more into the light. Our egoic nature has to fall away. Lots of conditioning, programming, beliefs have to fall away. So there's lots of identity, who we think we are, which has to die, pass away, let go, for us to step more into this light, which is us stepping more into ourself and towards our true self. So I used to observe this a lot with myself. I used to do a lot of practices, a lot of meditation, a lot of classes or online workshops. And I would notice myself feeling really connected to this essence, feeling very blissful, very calm, very peaceful, very joyful. And I would notice myself in this lovely energy. And then I would notice after the event, maybe an hour, maybe earlier, half an hour, I would see there's a tendency where I was a bit like, what do I do with this power? What do I do now? Who am I now? Because when I was in this higher consciousness, this higher vibration, I could see my brain was very activated. I had so much more creative thinking. I was more comfortable in my shoes. All of a sudden, my anxiety was faded away. I didn't have any stress. I didn't really have the problems that I had earlier either. So it was like a lot of these things just kind of faded away. The certain soreness in my back would disappear. I would start to see more of the beauty. And it was quite a nice, amazing experience. And I would notice that my egoic self would come in. There would be this self-sabotaging pattern. And I would go to junk food, very heavy foods, especially when I was very connected to the light. I would crave like sweets or fast food and even cigarettes when I used to smoke. And it would be basically when I did that activity, it would bring me back, it would lower my vibration. And it was almost like, yes, I felt comfortable back in my lower vibration. And this was the ego trying to come back home. The ego's like, no, we can't be in this light, we can't be in this power because this is dangerous for our ego. We can't stay like this because this is very unfamiliar. I don't know what to do. I don't feel safe. It's very, very in the unknown. Can we just go back to this? Can we go back to this small self? Because if we stay in this small self, it's more safe for us. We're going to survive. We're going to stay with the group. The group's not going to reject us. If we go up here, oh wow, we become a big threat now. We become a big threat. And so I would notice this resistance towards my light. And I would see like how long it would last and how long I could stay with it before I wanted to like sabotage it, before I wanted to lower my vibration back again. And I felt that there was parts of me that were attached to being in that lower vibration, that built this identity. And for me to let go of that, it was a part of me that actually needed to pass away, to die. And so you're going to have resistance to the light that comes up throughout your life, especially if you're on this healing journey or you're on this path of awakening, of realization, or on this path of just wanting to better your life and feel better. You're going to notice that you will resist this. This is a huge factor because so much things are just simple. Like we know what to do. Like if I was to ask you, what do you need to do to raise your vibration? You could even Google it. Like it's so available these days. Yes, we are so distracted, we're so bombarded, there's so much numbing tools. Like there's so much distractions, there's so many things to do, but at the same time, we have so much access to these amazing availabilities that we can really increase our vibration. We have access to therapists, healers, countless amounts of spiritual teachers and gurus, so many different types of teachings and different lineages and different traditions, so many types of meditations. We have books at our fingertips for like $20, like so cheap to get like someone's whole 10, 20 years worth of knowledge in a book for like $20. So like we have all this accessibility. We have the YouTube channels, we have Google, we have all of it to access. We have these meditations online, unlimited amounts of meditations. We have these apps now. We have yoga classes. We have health food shops. You know, so there's no excuses now. You can go get organic food. You can go get cold pressed juices. You can look up, how do I raise my vibration? It's there. It's quite simple. Everyone has different perspectives, of course, and at different levels of consciousness, that's going to differentiate as well. There's going to be more subjectivity to what practices you need to do. And this is, I've made videos on this before about finding your sweet spot and, you know, knowing in each moment what tools you need to use and when to let go of them, because we can get very attached to certain things that raise our vibration and we want to take those tools with us forever, but we don't need to use those tools. We needed to use those tools in the past, but now we need to let go of them. So I've made many videos on this. And so we have these available tools. You can Google right now, what do I need to do to raise my vibration? And all you need to do is just do them. Like we know what to do, but we don't do them. Very simple. Why don't we do them? Why don't we do what we know is going to be beneficial for us? You know, if I was playing a video game, or if you were playing some video game and you had a choice to do activities that increased your character stats, or you could do activities that lowered your character stats, what would you do? Of course, you would do the activities that increase your character stats. It's part of the game. You want your character to evolve, to upgrade. So you would buy the best armor, you know, you'd buy the best gear, you would do the best activities that are going to give the most rewarding points. You know, if you wanted to increase your character strength, then you would do those strength activities. If you wanted to increase your character's health, you would feed the character with high volume health. You wouldn't give your character crappy food, would you? It's stupid. Maybe as a joke once in a while, just to see how your character would react. But you would always want your character to be most optimal so that you can be so much better at the game. You would want to be the most optimal you can be. So you would do everything you could. If you would do the meditation, you would eat healthy, you would exercise your character, you would do reading, so you would upgrade your character's knowledge, whatever it may be. You know, you might do all types of therapy, go to trainings, read books. You would do all this type of stuff. It's going to increase your character. But why don't we do this for ourselves? For this character, this human character. We know what to do, and maybe if you don't, just Google it. Just Google it. It's that easy now these days. You don't even have to seek help. Google's there, right there, tells you. There's books on it. There's books even called Raise Your Vibration. You get many amazing books. You can type in on YouTube, how to raise your vibration. There's spiritual teachers that talk about it. But what happens is we just get so caught up in all the other crap, all the other stuff that's bombarded with us. You know, all the quick fix, all the feel good now instead of feeling good later. You know, this seeking pleasure now instead of feeling good overall. And so this is the ultimate test, and our ego is going to come in the way and it's going to resist this. Just like the ego resists our light, it's going to resist what's good for you. And it's crazy to think, but you actually find it more comfortable in your suffering, in your problems, in wherever you are now, than you do to get rid of them. You are safe in them. So for us to step into doing what we know is better, we need to increase our awareness. When we increase our awareness, we can start to be aware of the patterns that come up, the self-sabotaging patterns, the resistance. We can become aware of, oh, okay, why do I keep doing this? And the more you do this, the more you increase your awareness, the more you increase your vibration, the more you're going to notice the contrast of those things that are harming you, that aren't good for you. So this was big for me, because I used to do all these unhealthy things, smoke cigarettes, I used to do drugs, I used to smoke marijuana, I used to smoke speed and ice and do cocaine. I used to drink alcohol, I used to eat junk food, soft drinks, pornography. So I used to do all these things that I felt at the time were okay. It just made me feel good. I didn't know any contrast. But it wasn't until I raised my vibration, raised my awareness, that I started to notice these things were not good for me anymore. And then they just started to fall away. And as I continued to ascend and bring more light and bring more awareness and increase my consciousness, there was such a big contrast that I could not do them anymore. It was too much of a contrast. I was like, oh, holy shit. It's like wearing a white top and then you put, a stain on there. You're going to see the stain. But before, it was like metaphorically I was wearing a black top. And all these stains were there, but I couldn't notice the stain. I couldn't notice the stain. There was no contrast. But when you raise your vibration and increase your light, it is like wearing white. So you'll see the stains. You'll notice them more obviously. You'll really notice them. And so this is going to help you to let go as you continue to ascend organically. And then you'll notice less and less resistance. And I've made a video about this before, but our resistance is something that we need to push towards initially at the start of our journey. And eventually it becomes a 50-50 balance. And then eventually the resistance becomes actually more of an intuitive thing. It's something we need to avoid. So the resistance will change over time as your vibration increases and as your light increases. So just pay attention, be aware of the resistance that comes up as you increase your light, after you do amazing activities, and just simply knowing that you need to do better things. Like, of course, we're going to have ups and down days, but if we just continue to do better things for us, then it's going to be more helpful. And even if you are resisting the light, you do feel like that junk food that day, or that cigarette, or you feel like doing an activity that's going to lower your vibration, like, just make the choice. It's your choice. Take your power back and say, no, I'm going to choose to stay in this light longer. It's okay. And I'll eat something healthier. I'll do a healthy activity that's aligned with that light, so you don't lose it. And again, when I say lose it, it just means it gets covered, because you don't actually lose your light. It just gets covered, it gets veiled. And so we do the unveiling to increase, to work on your character. So think about it. If you're playing a video game, would you be doing these activities if you were playing a video game? Of course, we have certain limitations because that's just a game, and we can restart a chapter in that game and make mistakes in the game that, even if we did die as a character, it's okay. Like, we can fail more, and we have less of an identity that we've built around that game, where in this character we fully identify with our human self. So we don't want to fail, we don't want to make mistakes, we experience pleasure and pain, so we want to experience more pleasure than we do pain. So that means that we will want more instant gratification. We're going to want to feel good right here, right now. So we're seeking instant pleasure instead of long term, because that's how biologically we're hardwired. So obviously there's differences in the game and to your character, but just a good way to see it, that you can do these good things. You know what you need to do. And if you don't, there's so much information out there sharing you with health, with wealth, with success, with business, with relationships, with spirituality, higher purpose, whatever it may be, in any category, it's all there. It's all there that you can access. You just got to be able to hone in and focus on what you want, focus on what attributes you want to work on, step away from the distractions. And this is where meditation is very helpful, because it helps you to hone in, to focus, to sharpen your focus, to be laser-like, and to step away from the distractions. And that doesn't mean it's like terrible for you to watch a random movie every now and again, or eat some food that's not the healthiest. Like, that's fine, but just more about knowing what's good for me, and can I do more of that majority of the time that's going to benefit my life long term, instead of what's going to feel good right now that's going to affect my life long term. There's a difference here. Short-term pleasure, long-term pain, or short-term no pleasure, long-term feeling more of that connection to your source, to your spirit. So instead of receiving now, we receive longer term later on. Instead of taking that hit right now in each moment, the instant pleasure, gratification, right now, right here, right now. I just want to feel good now. And it's like, yes, you're going to feel good right now for maybe 30 seconds, maybe for a minute, maybe for a day, until that drug runs out, until that food settles in your belly. And then you're going to be stuck with whatever repercussions are going to create an effect after what you just did. That is going to be what stays with you. If you eat something like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, I'm trying to think of a vegetable that doesn't taste great. But, if you eat that, it doesn't taste the best. It doesn't taste the best in that moment, but then it's going to make you feel better longer term. If you have a cold press green juice or a smoothie, some of them do taste good still, and they're going to give you a better effect. So we move past this. You can still eat healthier foods, and they're still going to have a beautiful effect. But again, if you resonate at a certain frequency, it might be harder for you to eat certain healthy foods. For me, many years ago, I didn't drink any water, I didn't eat any vegetables, no fruits. All I wanted was junk food, refined carbohydrates, soft drinks. So I resonated with that. If I ate the other food, I just want pleasure. I just want more pleasure. I want instant gratification. So I didn't have the palate to appreciate whole foods, quality foods, healthy foods. But as I raised my vibration, increased my life force, I started to resonate with more of the healthier foods. It was easier. I had the palate to obtain that. And I would see certain junk foods, they made you they tasted good, but it was almost quite synthetic and unnatural, just too much. It's like too much of a hit. It's like, whoa, it's too strong. It's like having a really strong dessert. It's like, oof, that's too much. It gets too intense. So, your palate will change, and you'll be able to consume better foods, and that will go with your activities. You'll be able to do better activities as your palate changes, as your awareness changes, and you'll be quite simple. It's like, I can just do this, this, and this, and if I keep doing this, this, and this every day, I'm going to receive benefits from this. If I keep eating healthy food, if I keep exercising, if I keep reading, if I keep meditating, if I keep going into nature, etc., whatever it may be, keep going to those workshops or those classes, if I keep seeing my therapist. If you continue to do this, it's common sense what's going to happen eventually in the long run. You're going to receive the results. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you know if you do connect to your light and you're resisting your light, that's normal. There's an egoic self that does resist it, and you will get better and better at it, just like I did, and just like I am getting better at it, and noticing that I still even do resist certain bits of my light to this day. So just being aware, and we want to ascend together, we want to increase our vibration. So thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day. Peace.